Now, if you're wanting to come to the UK on a budget, then you should probably look at travelling to a different destination. However, if you've got your heart set on the land of beans on toast and you want to hear people saying bottle of water in the rain, then this is the guide for you. Let's get straight into it. My first tip is to order yourself a SIM card before you actually come to the UK and avoid buying one at the airport. I know that's typical of most countries. The ones in the airport will rip you off, but more specifically UK, if you order from Leica Mobile or giffgaff to your hotel, hostel, whatever beforehand, you will save yourself some money there. I'm paying like £4 or £5 a month with Talk Mobile right now for a SIM, and I get about 5 gigabytes of data, so something like that is a great way to save a bit of money at the start. Then tip number 2 is another easy one. Some ATMs in England, Jesus, almost slipped and broke my neck right now trying to avoid people whilst doing this video because, yeah, social anxiety. But I've just been in Thailand. Every single cash machine there charges money, whereas in the UK some do and some don't, so be careful about that. Always try and go to major banks. They'll have free ATMs outside. If they don't have one outside, they'll probably have one inside. So definitely an easy, simple way to, yeah, save money. And make sure you're using a card like Revolut, Monzo, I don't know what the kids are using these days to get good exchange rates and whatnot. Yeah, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, if you're in like cities and stuff, this is a good one, but just use your contactless card instead of buying travel passes or whatever. Like on the tube, you can use that. You can use that on buses in the cities too, like London, probably Manchester, you know. Might not be as good a tip for the smaller towns, but I presume if you visit in the UK, you go into the more touristy places, so should be good because that will give you the lowest daily fare of the day and you don't have to mess around with travel passes and whatnot. So yeah, that's a bit of a good one there for travel. Sticking with travel, the best ways to get around, I mean, right now we have this relatively new law in that buses are capped at like £3 to everywhere, so that's a good one if you can get a bus to where you want to go. Trains are a bit trickier. They're good in most places, but expensive. If you're going to be here a while, might be worth buying a rail card. That's about £30, and that will give you 30% off every single rail fare. So yeah, if you're going to be here like a month or longer, might be worth getting something like that, as yeah, it's a nice way to get around the country, but not so cheap. Obviously sticking to the bus, the tube if you're in London, trams and whatever is a good idea. And taxis, we do have Uber in most places. Compared to other countries, it's probably not that cheap. You might get cheaper with a local taxi firm, but do be careful because, yeah, not always. Another good tip for all you museum lovers out there is, yeah, a lot of them are free, especially on certain days, you know, so double check that before booking any expensive museums or art galleries or whatnot, because you might find that you can come to all the ones that you wanted to go to without spending any money. So that's a great way, yeah, to keep the budget down and save all your pocket money for beer, the important stuff, you know. And on the topic of beer, bonus tip for you here: if you want cheap beer, then go to Wetherspoons. And if you don't know what Wetherspoons is, then why are you even coming to the UK? Because it's literally the best thing about this country. But yeah, just Google it. There's 1, maybe 2, sometimes even 3 in every town, and yeah, it's as British as it comes. You can get a pint £3-4, maybe even £2 if you're lucky and have no standards on taste. So yeah, definitely check that one out. You can also get a pretty nice English breakfast from there too for maybe £5 or £6. So yeah, Wetherspoons, big advocate. This video isn't sponsored by Wetherspoons, by the way, but if you're watching Mr. Wetherspoon, then yeah, I'm open to negotiations. Slide in my DMs, bro. Oh, I just remembered one about travel too. We have something called a Megabus, which is a bit different to the normal bus line. I've not caught it for years, but if you're not in a rush, that can be a good cheap option too. Like, oh, almost slipped again. Should have wore some better shoes. But yeah, I used to travel to London from Manchester for like £5. It's probably a lot more than that now, and it'll take like 5 or 6 hours as opposed to 2 or 3 on the train. But if you've got time to kill, yeah, it's a lot cheaper. So check Megabus out. for sure. It's basically like the Flixbus of the UK. I've already forgot what number tip we're on, but I'm just going to go with it. Obviously, yeah, a bit of a more obvious one is that you don't need to pay for bottles of water. Had to say it at some point, because you can drink tap water everywhere in the UK. I'm pretty sure anyway. It used to be the case, and it's delicious in the north of England. Tastes a bit shit in London when you get used to the ones up north, but it's still safe to drink. So yeah, if you didn't know that, there you go. If you did know that, well, enjoy, because it's delicious. So yeah, if you're looking for a reason to come to the north of England, we got that good shit on tap, if you know what I'm saying, you know. So don't go to London and be like, this isn't even that good. Everyone says the water's so good in England. Yeah, that's not the A team. Come to the north. That's where the proper stuff is. Okay, since we're talking about drinks, I'm going to go a bit off script here and get straight into food tips. Now, I know you're probably not coming to the UK for the cuisine because, well, why would you? So on the topic of food, my advice, especially if you're hitting up London, which you probably are, just don't eat fish and chips in London, please. Please don't eat fish and chips in London, because it's going to leave you with a bad taste in your mouth and an empty pocket, and then you'll be going on Twitter like fish and chips is so overrated, blah blah blah. Nah, get yourself to the seaside, to some small town, some little fish and chip shop that looks like a strong wind might blow it over. That's where the good shit is. It's a lot cheaper too. It needs to be really greasy, in a newspaper, lots of salt and vinegar. It's probably going to shave years off your life, but it'll be worth it, promise. Also, the best places to get like authentic British grub, cheaper, go to the little local cafes with crazy ass names that interior ain't much to shout about, but it'll be like the best fry up of your life, and big portions, not cheap, because nothing's cheap here, but cheaper. It's good enough. And honestly, a bit of a boring tip here, but go to the supermarkets, bro. Like, I've been to many countries in my life, and one of the best things about travelling is checking out the supermarkets. And trust me, the UK has some of the best. So if you really want to budget, don't eat out. Just get yourself to the supermarket, try something like beans on toast. And I know, you're probably like, ooh, beans on toast. We get it. You guys are hesitant, but trust me, it's delicious, and it's going to cost you a couple of pounds max. You'll probably be able to get a couple of portions out of there. It's worth, bro. It's worth it. More supermarket content. Make sure you download the loyalty apps or get the loyalty cards for anywhere you go. Even if you're going to somewhere like Tesco's, one of the biggest supermarkets once, it's going to save you a decent amount of money using the club card, it's called, for Tesco. Then you've got like Sainsbury's, they've got the Nectar card. Lidl and Aldi are probably the cheapest big supermarkets, but you might struggle to find everything you want there. You might have to go to Tesco's, Asda, Sainsbury's if you want absolutely everything. Slightly more expensive, but like I said, the loyalty apps and cards can save you a lot of money here. Also, most supermarkets will have a section where they have like stuff that's going out that day or the next day, and you'll get some really good deals there, so definitely head to there. It's something I always do when I go in the supermarket. Also in the supermarket, we have a thing called a meal deal, very famous in the UK. You might have seen the viral pages, Rate My Meal Deal. It's a British tradition, you know, and you can get a meal for like £3.50 these days. It used to be £3, but that bastard inflation got us. You get a sandwich or a pasta salad, something like that, drink, snack for like £3.50. I mean, can't go wrong. And what would a video about the UK be without a little mention of our king, our true king, Greggs, King Greg. Yeah, it's one of the last places where somewhat decent value for money, get yourself a pasty, a sausage roll, the true British experience. Get yourself a sausage, cheese and baked bean melt. That's a personal favourite of mine. Honestly, you won't be disappointed. Oh yeah, and on the topic of Wetherspoons, we actually have this thing that kind of came, now it's come back again, where people post a picture of themselves in Wetherspoons, post it on Facebook with your table number, and people will order drinks and food via the app to your table. So that's completely free. All you have to do is, well, expose yourself on a very popular Facebook group. But people do that. I mean, it's pretty funny. If you're willing to take the risk, maybe do it with some friends, you can probably get a free meal. I mean, people will probably order you stuff like a boiled egg and a cider. But if you're into that, give it a look. And yeah, last but not least, pubs in general, not just Wetherspoons, tend to have deals at times, stuff like happy hours, meal deals, like 2 main courses for a tenner, family deals, things like that. So have a look in your local area for those kinds of things, because yeah, again, and personally when people ask me where's the best food in the UK, I think it's, yeah, these country pubs, really traditional places with just huge portions of, yeah, decent grub. And yeah, if you can get it during these happy hour meal deal times, it's not too expensive. So yeah, and you can obviously get a nice pint there too. Enjoy a Guinness or 10. I'm not going to judge. So yeah, that's it, boys. Hopefully, if you're coming to the UK, that can save you a pretty penny, and you can use that money to book a trip to somewhere with decent weather. But hopefully you've enjoyed that. I'm going to take advantage of the one sunny day we get a year. So yeah, if you like the video, let me know in the comments, subscribe, all that jazz. Peace and love. Bottle of water. And to finish, I thought I'd show you a little bit what today's looking like, because for sure it won't look like this when you get here. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. Or if you're extra skint, you could just start eating school children. That's a joke, by the way.